Good afternoon, YouTube. This will be a reasonably short video because I've not got a lot going on today, but let me explain to you what I'm doing and where I'm going, and then we'll see what you think. So yesterday I got a backload from London up to Middlesbrough, and that gave me the chance to sleep in my own bed, and I started the day in my own bed, then I had a bath, then I had some breakfast. So a really nice start to my day. Then I thought I'd better get off reasonably soon, and by the time I got all the things sorted out, I had a bit of a lie-in today. Then I didn't leave the house until about 25 past 10 this morning, and my aim was just to get myself up to Middlesbrough and offload my pallet as soon as I could, and then see what there was around going up towards Scotland. And on the way up, I was thinking it's probably going to be tough to get something from the northeast going up to Scotland, so I'm probably going to end up sitting around for ages trying to find a decent job, which is why I did the following thing. There was a job from Sheffield going to Oban, and it did say on the job that co-loading is fine. So I had a quick look at the map, and then I decided that if I could pick that up, that would get me up to Scotland after I've dropped off at Middlesbrough. And I looked at the mileage. I worked out at 85p a mile it was about £300. So I put a bid on £300, and then I thought, oh, that's actually a really good job for me. So I cancelled the job and put 270, which is the equivalent of 75 pence a mile. And at the time that I did that, I was quite, I suppose I wanted the job, and I was quite keen to get it. I got a call not very long later offering me the job, and the guy, who was really nice, explained to me, he called me to say he had got my offer, he liked it, he wanted to do it, but he was going to call the customer first. And from that call, I got the impression, from what he said, like from his words, he actually said to me, it's a really good bid, i.e., good for him. Now, he wasn't doing it in a nasty way, he was doing it in a nice way, and I realised at this point, 270, I probably should have left it at 300. But my customer service head kicked in, and I just decided, just go with this, take this job if it comes up, and treat it like it's getting you where you want to go for some money. So he came back to me and offered me the job at 270, and the terms were to pick it up as soon as I could. I was about 40 minutes away, and I had to deliver it to one pallet, deliver it tomorrow before 12 o'clock. So I went on my way I was on the M1 at the moment, heading north. I travelled up and went to Sheffield to pick up this pallet. And while I was on the way, I was thinking I probably could have got more for that job. But then I was thinking, well, you might not have got the job then if you did it. You don't know when you're bidding as a driver necessarily what is a good or bad price. I very rarely go beneath a pound, and so this is really me experimenting with what is a good price, what's not a good price. So I suppose what I'm saying to you in a rambly way is I'm using today as a way to learn for myself how to pitch these kind of jobs. And I think if I'd stuck to my original 85p a mile, I would have probably still got the job, and I think obviously I would have made a bit more money. So I feel that possibly I've made an error which has cost me £30, but it's not really an error because I did the best thing I could at the time with the information I had. what I'm going to use that is next time I am bidding for this sort of thing, I'll start at sort of 90p to 85p rather than 85p, 75p per mile as my bids. And I'll find out in time whether these get accepted or not. So I rationalised to myself that although I'd probably made a mistake and done this a bit on the cheap, it is a learning experience. I am making a contact. I did want to be really upbeat with the guy and thank him for the job, and sort of maybe he'll remember me for future work. And also the other thing I thought about was, well, what's happened here really is I was in London last night and I'm going to be in Oban tonight, and that's going to have given me in total £570. So when I thought about it like that, I felt much better about the whole thing. I think that's not bad for a day's work. If for 24 hours I would have earned that much money. So I'm okay with it, but I think I would next time. My lesson that I'm learning is to not go quite as low. But even as I say it, I know what I'm going to feel like. When you're in a position and you really want a perfect job or a nearly perfect job, it's really hard in the moment to just not to price it that you might not get the job. I suppose that comes with experience. I'm sure there are people out there doing this for 2 or 3 years who would know exactly how to pitch that sort of price, and I'm not there yet. So I'm happy to learn from experience. And I suppose by me sharing it with you in this video, it's something for you to learn from your own experience when you get to that point in time. Right, so I picked up the Sheffield pallet. I then went and delivered my original pallet from last night to Middlesbrough. I went onto a building site, had to sign in. It was a bit of a faff. It was quite hard to find where to go. I had to call the guy a couple of times. But I wasn't in a rush here because I knew that I was never going to get to Oban in time for today. Oban was always going to be delivering for tomorrow morning. Oh, and the reason for that is I then worked out how far it was from Oban from Middlesbrough, and it's about 5 hours, if you don't stop 5 hours. So there was no way, I realised, I was going to get across after Middlesbrough drop off to Oban in time for a drop off today. And that for me would have been ideal. But I can't tell you about that. And I haven't been to Oban for years. We went once on a caravanning holiday, so this is a trip to drive to Oban now, just to really put myself in the place. I remember I had midges last time, but I think it might not be the right weather for that. Who knows? I'll find out. Yeah, so today that's it really. I'm driving now. I am looking for potential co-loads on the way from Middlesbrough to Oban. It's coming up to 5 o'clock now, so I think it's unlikely that I will get anything suitable. So I'm assuming that I won't get anything. And my plan is to tip off tomorrow morning at 7:30 in Oban, and then for tomorrow to work for me, I've got to get myself from Oban to Edinburgh, and then from Edinburgh, after about at least half an hour's handballing, from Edinburgh down to High Wycombe, in time for the depot closing at 7 o'clock. And I think it's feasible, but I've got a lot of time to play with. And if I do that, then I will make my £400 for the Edinburgh trip plus the £270 that I'm getting for this trip tomorrow. So tomorrow will be a good day. And then that leaves me with the conundrum of trying to get to and from the Wirral on Friday. But if I have to, I can deliver the stuff I collect on Saturday. I'd rather not into Saturday if I can help it. Right, stats. So, I've done the stats for when I get to Oban tonight, and so they are as follows. When I've finished today, I will have done 11 hours work. I will have driven 474 miles, 474, and at a rate of 14.56 pence per mile for fuel, I will have spent £69.01 on fuel today. and that means because I've only earned one job of £200, that means I will have had net after fuel £131 today. 131. Okay, thank you very much for listening to my video. What have you learnt today?